soy Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria. Tranquilo, plata o plomo.
Pablo Escobar was a notorious Colombian drug lord and one of the most powerful and infamous criminals in history. Born on December 1, 1949, in Rio Negro, Colombia, Escobar rose to prominence as the leader of the Medellin Cartel, a powerful drug trafficking organization. During the 1970s and 1980s, the cartel, under Escobar's control, dominated the cocaine trade, smuggling massive quantities of the drug into the United States and other countries. Escobar became incredibly wealthy, with an estimated net worth of around $30 billion at the height of his power. He controlled a vast empire, influencing politics, law enforcement, and society in Colombia. Despite his criminal activities, he gained some popularity in certain communities by presenting himself as a benefactor, funding social projects and portraying himself as a modern-day Robin Hood. His reign was marked by extreme violence, with Escobar responsible for numerous bombings, assassinations, and massacres to eliminate rivals and maintain control over the drug trade. The Colombian government, along with the United States, launched extensive efforts to capture him. Pablo Escobar earned the moniker of Robin Hood due to his strategic philanthropic efforts that aimed to build a favorable image, particularly among the impoverished communities in Colombia. While his criminal activities wreaked havoc through drug trafficking, Escobar simultaneously invested heavily in social projects, earning loyalty from those who directly benefited from his largesse. The drug lord financed the construction of housing for the poor, established schools, and funded other infrastructure projects, creating a paradoxical persona that oscillated between ruthless criminal and generous benefactor. This dual identity served Escobar's interests by fostering a sense of gratitude and indebtedness within certain marginalized communities. By portraying himself as a champion of the poor, he aimed to garner support, protection, and a degree of public sympathy. The Robin Hood comparison encapsulates the complexity of Escobar's legacy, highlighting how his criminal empire exploited the societal vulnerabilities it helped create. The narrative of a benevolent figure amid criminal notoriety adds an intriguing layer to the enigma that was Pablo Escobar, showcasing the intricacies of power, manipulation, and public perception in the context of his tumultuous reign. Pablo Escobar amassed his immense wealth primarily through his involvement in the illicit drug trade, particularly the production and distribution of cocaine. As the head of the infamous Medellin Cartel, he controlled a significant portion of the cocaine trade during the 1970s and 1980s, flooding the United States and other markets with the drug. The cartel's operations were vast, ranging from coca cultivation in Colombia to transportation networks and distribution channels across the globe. At the height of his power, Escobar's net worth was estimated to be around $30 billion, making him one of the wealthiest individuals in the world. The profits from the cocaine trade allowed him to live a lavish lifestyle, complete with opulent properties, private jets, yachts, and even his own private zoo. Following Escobar's death in 1993, much of his wealth was seized by authorities or lost due to the dismantling of the Medellin Cartel. However, the full extent of his fortune remains elusive, with some suggesting that a significant portion of his wealth was never located. It is believed that some of his assets were hidden in various offshore accounts, real estate holdings, and other complex financial instruments, making it challenging for authorities to trace and recover all of his ill-gotten gains. The fate of Escobar's wealth remains a subject of speculation, with various claims about hidden assets and unrecovered funds continuing to circulate. Reign. Pablo Escobar was known to have multiple extramarital affairs during his lifetime. The exact number of lovers or mistresses he had is not definitively documented, as Escobar's personal life was largely kept private, and details about his relationships have often emerged through anecdotal accounts. One of Escobar's most well-known mistresses was Virginia-Vallejo, a Colombian journalist and television personality. Vallejo wrote a memoir, Amando Pablo, Odiando Escobar, loving Pablo, hating Escobar, in which she detailed her romantic involvement with the drug lord. In addition to Vallejo, there were reports of other women associated with Escobar, but specific details about the number of his lovers remain somewhat elusive. Escobar was married to Mariavictoriahenao, and the couple had two children, Despite his numerous extramarital affairs, Escobar's relationships and personal life were closely guarded, and the full extent of his romantic entanglements may never be entirely known.
An elite Colombian police unit killed Pablo Escobar in a shootout.
Pablo Escobar died on December 2, 1993, in Medellin. The circumstances surrounding his death remain a subject of some debate, but the generally accepted version is that he was killed in a confrontation with Colombian authorities. On the day of his death, Escobar was located in a middle-class neighborhood in Medellin. As the authorities closed in on him, a firefight ensued. Escobar, attempting to escape across the rooftops of nearby buildings, was eventually shot multiple times. The exact details of how he was shot and by whom are not entirely clear. There are, however, alternative theories suggesting that Escobar may have taken his own life to avoid capture and the subsequent legal consequences. Some believe that he shot himself in the head when he realized escape was impossible. Despite the uncertainties surrounding the details of his death, Pablo Escobar's demise marked the end of an era in the international drug trade and Colombian history.